Hi, everyone. Welcome to Money Meisters podcast. Today, I'm here with Bob King. The reason we've asked Bob King to stop by and do a short piece with us is because Bob is an absolute expert on planning for college aid, how to get the most help you can, not loans. I'm talking about getting somebody else to help pay for the college education for you or for your child or for your grandchild. And Bob told me something the other day, which really shocked me. And I wanted to get it on today because it's coming into that season where people are really looking at this, and it's important that you know. Bob, welcome to the call.
Hi, Don. Thanks for having me on.
Good to have you here, my friend. So here's the thing that you said that just made me nuts. The government created this program, and of course, they always say the most terrifying term in the world is "I'm from the government. I'm here to help." But in order to help, the government created the 529 program to allow you to save money, and they offer up some tax deference and that type of things with it in order to help you pay for college. But what you told me and what made me go, huh, is that there are some real catches to that. Can you talk about that for our listeners real quick?
Well, Don, in a nutshell, the 529 plans were first used to reduce how much aid a family will get. And as you mentioned, they were created by the federal government, and they were designed to save both the federal government and the colleges themselves money. And what I mean by that is potential aid that they do not have to provide families and students. Most of the families that I've worked with that have 529 plans, they were sold those plans on the way to pay for college. But the crime is that no one ever explained to them how the 529 plans affected your financial aid when you actually went and applied and qualified for that aid. So, as I say in my workshop, depending upon where your student goes to school, they can either hurt you a little bit or they can hurt you a lot. So you need to know that before you're actually applying to the institutions themselves.
Right. So what you're saying is, when they're looking at your and I want to talk to you about the expected family contribution, because you've taught me about that, and that's a big deal. But when they're looking at how much they expect you to pay, that calculation, a lot of that is determined by where you keep your money. And the first and foremost, I'm sure, is those 529 plans. And so the first thing they do is they don't reduce the amount of money that you have to pay. That's the amount of money that the government has to pay. Now you have to come up, they want the rest of it to come out of your cash flow or your income month to month. And that's just so everybody understands, they use it to reduce their costs, as Bob said, not yours. If they were going to give you help, or if the school or the government was going to give you help, the first thing to say is, oh, no, use your money, then we'll come in later. And as you've taught me, Bob, it's a left pocket, right pocket thing. If it's in the wrong pocket, they take it away. If it's in the right pocket, it's yours to keep. So that's a big deal. What kind of numbers are we talking about here? When you go through and adjust these, the expected family contribution, with a big part of that being the 529 deals, what kind of differences have you been able to make for your clients?
Well, I mean, you've referenced it a couple of times here, the expected family contribution, and which is more commonly referred to as your EFC number. It is the most important number that a family needs to know before you actually start to move through the financial aid system and researching colleges. And what that number represents, Don, it's the lowest dollar amount that you will pay for college. And it's what the government believes is your fair share. And typically, when I calculate a family's expected family contribution number, the question that it comes up is that for 4 years? And unfortunately, my answer is that's for 1 year. I'm very, very passionate about what I do, and I'm on a mission so that families have a clear picture of where they stand. And so by contacting me and starting a conversation, we can calculate your EFC number for you, and that's going to be the starting point. And if there's things that I see that you could do differently and position yourself differently so that you would qualify for more aid, I'll tell you that. And if you're perfectly positioned, I'll also tell you that. But the bottom line is this. I've met with families where we've taken that number from $39,000 a year down to $12,000. And I've met other families that we've moved it from $17,000 down to $8,000. In either case, we are, generating potentially more aid and savings for that family. So it's a huge number that you need to know before you go through this process.
Absolutely. So just to wrap this up, because we do only have very little time here, it's critically important that people understand that 529 plans, you've got a tiger by the tail and it can reach around to bite you. And it will, bite you hard depending on where you go. And that also affects your expected family contribution, your EFC number, which is a number you critically have to know. And somebody just told me, what is it, a 40-page calculation or something? Is that right?
I think it's 36 pages of PDF that the government has.
My bad. I'm sorry. I thought it was complicated. It's only 36 pages. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty easy.
Yeah. But anyway, if the great thing is Bob is truly, Bob will talk to anybody about this. He'll help anybody. He's, as you said, he's passionate about this. He's a great guy. If you want to know what your EFC number is without doing the 36-page calculation, and who wouldn't want to do that? But let's say you were the crazy person who didn't want to try that. Bob, it's okay for them to give you a call?
Yeah, I just say, let's start a conversation. You can either call me or send me an email and we'll get started.
What number would you like them to use?
440-243-5555.
Outstanding. And we'll post that on and we'll get the rest of your contact information because I want to email you or whatever. That'd be fine too. But folks, if you are going to college, if you have a child who's going to college, if you have any family member, if anyone you care about is going to college, this information is critical. A 5-minute call with Bob will get you the bottom line of A, what the government's going to expect you to put in, and B, whether or not he can fundamentally fix that for you, and he can tell you right on the spot. And that's about as good as it gets, folks. It gives you a chance to really make sure that if you're perfectly positioned, great. If you're not, the difference is tens of thousands of dollars, could even be over 100,000, depending on where you're going and what you're doing. So Bob, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing that with us. This is a big deal. This is, for Money Meisters, that's what we want to do. We want to watch our money, and that helps us.
Welcome, Bob.
Yep. Thanks so much. And for Money Meisters, thanks so much for watching, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next time.